Hello and welcome to Whatever Happened to the Gentleman podcast. So, the doors to my program closed last week, and so today I want to talk about, as we go into quarter 4 of the year, the last 3 months, what strategy you have to heal. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sam Morris, and I have spent the past 11 years helping single men and women break free from toxic cycles and finally find the healthy love that they deserve. This is my podcast where I talk about love, dating, changing your behaviors, and manifesting the life that you want, and everything in between. So let's get to the episode. So yeah, finished my launch. The doors have closed to the Healthy Love Academy. And so this episode is a catch-up really, because I obviously haven't had that much time to be recording. And just to talk about what we should be doing in this last point of the year, because so many people will get to October, and I see this time and time again, where they're like, well, I'll start in January. And some of the people listening to this podcast right now will have been on the episode in January that I did about planning your year and how to make your year better. And so I just want to say, it's not over till it's over. You've still got 3 months of this year that you can take some time for yourself, take some time to heal, so that you can start 2026 as a newer version of you. And so in the business world, and obviously, as you know, I run 2 different businesses. In the business world, we break that down, and my business coach gets us to break it down into every 3 months and the quarters of the year. So it's so what is your goal for this quarter? And so right now, even if you didn't join the Healthy Love Academy, right now is literally the perfect time to be like, right, I have got 2 and a bit months left until 2026 starts. What can I do in that time to make my life better? And because one of my programs, which is the 30-day nervous system healing reset, is 30 days. So what can you do in 30 days? And most of the people that take that and go on that 30-day journey, by the end of the 30 days, they're a completely different version of themselves. They've dealt with things that have happened in their past and they don't let them hold them back anymore. And they've developed this new sense of confidence. So in 2.5 months, you can do a lot. You don't need to give up because we're so close to, we're going to be in 2026 soon. So yes, that is what this episode is all about. So my question to you is, what is your strategy for healing? Because most people have a strategy for everything else in their life. If they want to lose weight, they will plan out their meals. They will track their workouts. They might even get a PT. They might also get an app. I'm not here to promote any apps, but I have an app that I track how many calories I've had and things like that. It's a plan. And most people that have a plan to do with fitness, it works out as long as they stick to the plan. If you want to build a business, or if you're already running a business, you follow a plan. You get mentoring. You look at your metrics. If you wanted a promotion at work, you would maybe go and upskill, or you would network, or you would set goals of, I want to be manager by 2027. How do I get there? Sorry, taking a drink. But when it comes to healing a broken heart, healing from a breakup, healing from childhood and past experiences, even childhood bullying and getting over rejection from dating apps that is chipped away at confidence, most people just wing it. And most people will tell themselves, time will heal this. It just takes time. But then they start to wonder why in 6 months, or if you were listening to my January podcast where we set our goals for the year, people will be like, why do I still feel the same? Or why do I feel worse? I might even be more numb to this. I might have given up completely. And I've seen this happen time and time again, both with clients that have then come to me and then they are in despair because they've tried to get over it. They've tried dating again and felt worse than ever. And I've seen it with myself back when I used to be in that same cycle of pain. Because the thing is, when someone goes through a painful breakup, or when someone is on like what I would call a long pattern of dating, so where they are actively seeking dates, that could be on a dating app, that could be speed dating, however you're doing it, actively seeking dates, and it's taking a while and they're not very good and they actually make you feel bad about yourself. That's what I would say is a long pattern of dating. When people are in this, there are other humans that make them feel like they're not good enough. And so the plan that most people come up with, the healing plan, is I'm going to delete all the apps and maybe I'm going to go to the gym because clearly I need to lose weight because there's something wrong with the way that I look. Maybe I should sit and watch self-help videos on YouTube. And so all of these things, they may help, but obviously exercise helps with your mental health massively. But none of them are healing. Healing isn't like random. It's not a load of different activities. It needs to be a strategy, a process, something that deserves just as much attention and just as much intention as building your career, your body, or building your bank balance. So what I've learned after years of studying trauma, working with people with trauma, psychology and relationships, healing tends to require these 3 things. Awareness, so knowing that something actually needs to be healed. Most people don't. Most people just kind of react to pain and then they see something. This is like, and if you've heard any of my stuff before, you'll know that I didn't know that I needed to heal either. And it was my epiphany, one of my many epiphany moments. And most people will see something, they'll see something that they resonate with on social media. And then they're like, oh, I have that problem. So people need awareness because you only know what you know. And if you're walking through life with kind of goggles on, then you don't know. Number 2 is rewiring. So rewiring your nervous system, rewiring your belief system, and those emotional triggers. Absolutely, that is what is needed. And number 3 is integration. So putting new habits, putting new emotional patterns, new belief systems into your daily life so that you don't just like feel a little bit better. You actually become a different version of yourself. Without a strategy for those 3 layers, you're just putting like plasters on a stab wound. Is that a bit harsh? My coach always says whipped cream on garbage. But that is what you're doing. You're just kind of making it look better. So if you're listening right now and you have been trying to get over someone by distracting yourself or going on more dates, or if you've convinced yourself that you just need to move on, but actually don't know how to do that, I just want to get a little bit honest with you just for a second and ask you, what's the plan? What are you doing every single day that moves you forward, that moves you closer to being emotionally free, to being grounded, to being so in love with yourself that you never accept unacceptable behavior again, and to being ready to have actual, real, healthy, aligned love? Because if you don't have a strategy, and I don't want anyone to get me wrong here, because it's not a failure by not having a strategy, because like I said, we only know what we know. But now you've got the awareness because I've just told you about it. So there's no excuses. This is your starting point. If we think about it like this, you broke your leg. If you broke your leg, you wouldn't just be like, I hope that my leg heals, just because you could still walk a little bit and maybe you read some motivational quotes about your bones. You would go to a doctor, you would rest, you'd maybe do rehab exercising depending on how hard, like how badly you broke that bone, and you would learn to walk again with strength. You wouldn't just go out running. And emotional healing isn't any different to that. It's just that you can't see it. And it is kind of like a rehabilitation program for your heart. And so I want to get you to sit down. Obviously, if you're driving right now, or you're out running right now, then do this part when you get home. But I want you to sit down and I want you to actually write this out, because when you are like writing, if there's lots of research into how it kind of comes into our brain and makes things more real, rather than just saying to yourself, and because of the way that memory works, this episode isn't about memory, but the way that memory works is that we don't always remember everything, and we pick out the things that are most important to us. So if you are out driving and think, oh yeah, I could do that, and these are this is the strategy that I'm going to come up with, the likelihood is if you then go about your day and you're at work and you're doing other things, you're probably going to forget about that. So sit down, write it down. The first question is, what is my strategy to heal? So what am I doing intentionally every single day, every week? Because some things are weekly. You know, if you're trying to build your self-confidence and you decide to join a new group, that's not going to be a daily thing. One of my clients, she went and did burlesque dancing. And obviously that's not a daily thing, but she went and did that to like boost her confidence. And then she had me and her burlesque teacher, like kind of not hammering her, but saying to her, right, these videos are awesome and you need to post them. And because she was super nervous, and don't worry, like I don't make people do these things, but it's individualized. She posted them, and the amount of feedback she got from people that was just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Oh, you've actually made me want to now go and explore things. But the levels of confidence that she has gained just from doing this thing is just absolutely, like, you can't even put into words. So so what are you doing intentionally every day? So you should have a daily task that helps you heal, and every week, to release the past and to build some emotional safety within yourself. And if you don't know where to start, that's okay. Go along and listen to more of these podcast episodes, because you will find things in there to help you with that. I've got lots of different episodes all around the healing process. And of course, if you do want some support with that, and an actual structure with tools, with a plan, and someone to keep you accountable, then go look at my one-to-one programs. Obviously, the doors to the Healthy Love Academy are closed. So it's just one-to-ones right now. But you need a strategy and you need a practice to stop repeating old patterns, to start building healthy, secure love from the inside out. Healing doesn't just happen. It has to have an intention. And so when you finally have a strategy for this healing, everything starts to change for you. And so I only really wanted to jump on just to get you to start thinking about these things, because in my launch, and obviously the doors open to the Healthy Love Academy, I had, I think, over 2,000 people register their interest for this live, and then they didn't show up for themselves. And feel like people know that there is a problem with lots of things, like not just with kind of healing and things like that, but with everyday life. People go through and they're like, there is a problem here, there's a problem here, but then don't actively seek to do anything about it. And so from this episode, I want you to take away, actually, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make a plan of how I'm going to get over this so that my life can get better. Because all of these little problems, and whatever the reason that you have for listening to the podcast, they manifest in other areas of our life and we just don't realize. So they manifest with the people that we have around us. I'm not talking about dating, I'm talking about friends. They manifest in the way that we interact at work. Do we speak up when actually we don't agree with something or not? They manifest with our family, where we will shrink ourselves. So all of these things, they're within your body. And even if you think that, well, it might not be a problem for me, it most likely is. And so sit down, work out what you are doing daily and weekly for your healing, for your self-development. And it has to be the daily task can be something very, very small. Like I say, go back and listen to other podcast episodes. I'm not going to go into those things right now. But very, very small daily activities. I would never, ever say to anyone, oh, you need to do an hour of meditation, you need to do an hour of journaling, an hour of colouring, any of that, because we live busy lives. And most of the people that listen to my podcast listen to it when they're on their way to and from work. I know this from looking at the stats. So those people are busy and probably don't have an hour every single day to dedicate to that. But you probably do have 3 minutes. And there are episodes that I've done that have talked about little 3-minute exercises. So go back, find something and commit to yourself. I'm just going to do this for 3 weeks. This is 3-minute activity on a daily basis, 3 weeks. Or as simple as my self-love cards, they have daily activities for you to do, and they're very short, they're very quick. I'll link them below actually, because they are really helpful. And that's all. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with one friend that you think might need to hear it as well. And if you are ready to create your own healing strategy, I will drop a link below to some of my free resources that you can get, and paid. The self-love cards are paid, but I have a few free stuff. So, and just remember, having hope feels great, but having a strategy is what actually heals you and gets you the life that you want. Thank you. I'm SMr&x. Speak to you soon. Now that you've made it to the end of the episode, I just want to personally invite you to something really special. Most people who listen to my show are tired of going through toxic relationship cycles and tired of dating people who really are not the ones for them. And most people who listen to this podcast tend to wonder why they keep attracting the wrong partners. And that is where I come in. I'm running a 2-night live masterclass to show you how healing your nervous system can reset your love life and help you attract real aligned love. go grab your spot right now at thesammorris.com/RFL, and I'll post a link in the show notes. Thank you, as always, for listening.